Hello, scientist. Today we are going to start learning about plant cells. Now, we have been talking so far about the outside of a plant, and today we're going to talk about the internal structure. That means the internal parts, and those are called plant cells. So let me just start off by saying today's lesson will be a little difficult to understand because it's hard to imagine what it looks like on the inside of a plant leaf. So don't stress. This is something we'll continue to work on when you guys get back to school with me. But today we are going to learn the structures. Remember, structures is another word for parts of a plant cell, so that I can understand the function. Remember, another word for function is the job of each part of the plant cell. I will know I've got it when I can explain the job or function of each part of the plant cell. So let's look at a picture this today. And the picture that I'm going to show you is this one. We've talked about the outside of the plant, but have you ever wondered what the inside of the plant looks like? So if you look at that, that is the inside of something like this. Now, we're used to using our magnifier in science class, but a scientist has used something even stronger than the magnifier or the hand lens to look at the inside. A scientist has used a microscope. We talked about this back when we learned about the science tools. But a scientist has used a microscope to look at the inside of a plant leaf or the inside of a plant. And this is called a plant cell. So let's learn about these different parts. So today we're going to watch a video to learn more about the plant cells. As you watch, think about the job or function each plant cell part has. So below my teaching video, there's going to be a link to get you to the plant cell video so that you can understand better what a plant cell is. And I'll show you what it looks like. Oops, maybe not. Hold on just a second. Here we go. We're going to learn about the plant cell. And this video will be linked below my teaching video. After you watch it, just come back to my video. So now that we've learned about the different parts of the plant cell, let's talk about what that word means. A plant cell is the building block of all plants. The plant cell has a cell wall. You probably heard that word in the video. Cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, nucleo, and chloroplast. So now we're going to sing a song about plant cells and their parts. And we're just going to listen to this together.
Science! Welcome to the plant cell. Time to introduce. I'm the nucleus that run this cookie. Know I got the juice. And envelope has got my back. I'm the #1 OG, which is short for organelle. So let's meet the family.
First off, the cell wall here to tell y'all I hold the cell up so it don't fall. I stay tall. Keep the shape of the spread so we don't look swag. Cause you know that plant cells are stack.
And if you wanna get in, I mean, you gotta get past the nucleus cell membrane. Regulating what goes out and goes in. Like a doorman, I'm letting all my bones in. We are the parts of the plant cell. It's growing and we represent, yeah. Getting energy from rays of light. Making mitosis by the end of the night, yeah. We are the parts of the plant cell, yeah.
Can I go next?
Hold up, mitochondria. You're the powerhouse of the cell, man. Hey. Ready for you.
Okay. Hit us with that fire.
Last name ridiculous, first endoplasmic. Haven't heard of me? Well, that's tragic. We roll dudes from one spot to another. They're made by robbers. Who that? My baby brother. Whoa, so you roll. Hand on the mic, I'm in control. No need to move so fast, cause now you're dealing with the chloroplast. Got a nice attack for chlorophyll, so look like it's about time to get chill. Sun rays beat down like a sizzle. Support us in the sizzle, what I do for this. We are the parts of the plant cell. It's growing and we represent, yeah. Get the energy from rays of light. Making my doses by the end of the night, yeah. We are the parts of the plant cell, yeah.
Okay, now can I go?
Okay, mitochondria, go for it.
Alright, just need to take a quick breath first. We work together, see photosynthesis to energy. I make it look easy, so what if all that don't touch me? I'm the hottest MC, everybody's got a mission. Take a deep breath, all the time respiration. My engine drives that car up, not bragging. Just tell you to a failure, photosynthesis will fail.
We are the parts of the plant cell. It's growing and we represent, yeah. Get the energy from rays of light. Making my doses by the end of the night, yeah. We are the parts of the plant cell, yeah.
Thank you for watching Cell Science. And remember to
Okay. So I hope you enjoyed that song about the plant cells and their parts. I think it's fun. So let's do a little bit of review of what we saw. So I also want to share with you today a model. So this is actually a model of a plant cell. Now remember, scientists use models. It's one of our 8 science and engineering practices that we use models. So this is a model of a plant cell. Let me get it a little bit closer to you. And it talks about or shows the different parts of the plant cell, both sides, and it just goes back together like this. So that is a plant cell. Now let's talk about the different parts that we saw on our video. So we learned about the cell wall. Let's start here on the outside. So on the outside is the cell wall. The job of the cell wall is to protect the cell from injury and hold the shape of the cell. The cell membrane would be our next layer. It controls what comes in and out of the cell. Right here's the chloroplast. We've heard about the sugar making in the process of photosynthesis. The chloroplast makes sugar and starches through photosynthesis. The mitochondrion, this is the part that provides the energy. This is the vacuole. It stores the biochemicals. It helps in plant growth. This is the nucleus. It controls many functions in this cell. It's kind of like the boss of the cell. And then all of this in here is what we call the cytoplasm. It's gel-like substance between the cell membrane and the nucleus. So remember, that's the cell membrane. Here's the nucleus. So this is the gel-like substance. Now, once again, remember, plant cells is probably the most difficult that we're going to talk about. So don't stress out if it's not crystal clear. It's something that we'll continue to learn. And even as you get older, you'll learn more in biology about plant cells. So here's what I want you to do now. I want you to do a little bit of practice on your own. Okay, so let me move myself down a second so that I can talk to you about how to do this. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to label your notebook. Okay, and just want to make sure that you guys can see it. Label your notebook with the word plant cell and then number it 1 through 7. Okay, so in your notebook, you're going to label it. We're going to try this on our own. We're going to use the clues to label the plant cell. You can look back to the color diagram of the cell if you need help. Write down the parts in your SN. SN just means science notebook. So we're going to label it plant cell and number 1 through 7. Then what I want you to do is I want you to read the descriptions of the plant cell. And number 1, you'll write down what you think it is. Number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7. Now, let's talk about spelling these big words correctly. I know they're words that we're not familiar with. I know they're new words, and I also know that they're big words. But the good news is the words are all right down here in the word bank for you. So this is my expectation. In your notebook, I should see correctly spelled words because they're right there in the word bank. What if I'm having trouble? Remember, I already said you can go right back over here. This will be right here for you, okay? So if you're having any trouble, just go back and take a look. Now I'm going to let you work on that on your own, and then pause the video for a second. When you come back, we'll keep discussing those part cells, those plant cell parts. Okay, now at our Google Meet, what's Ms. Colson going to expect for you to be able to do? So at our Google Meet, be ready to review the parts of the plant cell. You will share the names of the parts for the diagram. So what I'm going to ask you during the Google Meet is to share with me the answers you came up with here. And that's what we'll discuss. Then after our Google Meet, you will take a quiz on your own, and it's going to be no surprise to you. The quiz is going to be the parts of a plant cell. It's going to be an exit slip, and we're going to read those questions carefully, pick the best answer, and then answer that reflection question completely at the end. So once we're done with our Google Meet, because I want you to get the review first, you get to review that all with me first, then I'm going to let you go take your exit slip. And let's talk about it before you get to it. Let me show it to you real quick. So your exit slip is going to have the same picture on it. Oops, I think it's trying to load. Hold on a second. There we go. It's going to have the same picture we've already been talking about, okay? So it's just going to ask you about the parts, and you're just going to pick the correct answer. So that's not going to be any surprise what I need you to do once we get to the exit slip. So that's why we're practicing right now during our lesson with labeling the plant cell. Okay, so at Google Classroom time, bring your notebook, and I'll see you soon.